Hey, how's it going, Jeff?
Hey James, how you doing? Welcome to House of Bonds.
Thank you.
How's going to be of service for you today?
You know, well, I've been in the market for a mid-size SUV. You know, I really like the Honda CR-V, but you know, and so that's what you're up against. You know, but I saw the CX-5, and it's something that I'm really interested in. I've heard a lot of good things about it, but what can you tell me about it?
What good? Is there anything specifically you'd like to know? Kind of give me a place to start here. Just like
you know, the biggest thing is that I do a lot of fishing, hunting, traveling, skiing, so I'm always in the mountains. I'm an outdoors guy.
This is a perfect car for you.
Is it good? It's good.
Yeah.
You know, so my biggest thing also is that horsepower. You know, I know the CR-V's got good horsepower. I don't know how the CX-5 is going to do compared to that. You know, how's it riding the mountains? How it's going to do in case I get stuck up there in the snow or the rain. So that's the information I need to know about the car.
James, man, you couldn't have picked a more perfect vehicle. Let me address the horsepower issue, because on paper, it looks like there's a significant difference.
Yeah.
For instance, the CR-V is rated at 185 horsepower, okay, and the Mazda is 155 horsepower.
Yes.
You're thinking, wow, that's 30 horsepower difference. That's a lot.
Exactly.
But let's break this down a little bit. It's 185 horsepower on the CR-V at 7,000 RPM.
Okay.
Mazda's 155 at 6,000 RPM. Okay, so it develops its horsepower at higher RPM. If you actually break that down to the amount of horsepower per 1,000 RPM, in other words, you divide your horsepower by 7,000 and your 155 by 6,000, and you actually find that per 1,000 RPM, the CR-V is less than 1 horsepower per 1,000. And one of the reasons why that is the torque rating. Torque rating on the CR-V is 163, 4,400 RPM. Torque rating on the Mazda CX-5 is 150 foot-pounds of torque at 4,000 RPM. If you apply that same type of formula, the Mazda 5, the CX-5, actually produces a little bit more foot-pounds of torque per 1,000 RPM than the CR-V does. Okay, because it develops its its torque ratings. It's maximum torque at lower RPM levels, so it's geared to serve you a little bit at lower RPM levels. So in lower gears, mountains, you don't really need a whole lot of high-end input. You need that low-end input where you can get up and down those hills and around those mountains and stuff like that.
So it's going to give me the power where I need it.
Exactly.
That's good.
Rather than just wasted things. I mean, it develops 97% of its horsepower is applied toward the torque, and the CR-V, it's only using 89% of its horsepower applied to torque. So you got better power. Plus, the CX-5 is a little bit lighter vehicle than the Honda CR-V, not by much, a little over 100 pounds. But if you're in and up and down the mountains all day long, burning gas makes a big difference. So what does it tell us? You get a better power to weight ratio. You get more torque at RPM levels that you really use in the mountains, going up and down those hills. And you get better gas mileage. It's a higher rating. It's the highest rated of any of its competitors. The RAV4, Kia Sorento, all those. It's got the best gas mileage and no hybrid technology involved in there. It's all just taking what they had to work with, an internal combustion engine, tweaking that internal combustion engine by doing some really innovative things like adding volcano top pistons, where it actually has a cup in the top of it that controls the combustion of the flame kernel, and it just doesn't explode against the flat surface. You've actually got a cup in there that it ignites in, give you a better burn of the fuel. You couple that with 6 injection ports that they've added that injects fuel into that combustion chamber at 2,600 PSI.
Wow. And
what that develops for you is a combustion ratio of 13 to 1. It's the highest one of any of its competitors.
That's almost like a diesel.
It's an amazing technology. Along with that, it's all part of what they call their Sky-Active technology, as opposed to a hybrid technology.
Okay.
And along with that, the internal combustion improvements that they made, they improved the exhaust manifold. They went from a 4 into 1 exhaust manifold, where you had 4 ports going into a single port, to go into a 4 into 2, which gives you a cleaner egression of the exhaust on it, no backflow, less engine knock, better power, and a cleaner power, better for the environment. And that's one of the things that adds with the volcano top pistons to the better gas mileage. Make the transmission a little lighter by reducing the work of the torque converter. A torque converter is usually a pretty good sized part of the transmission, but it's really only effective up to 5 miles an hour. So what they did is they dropped the work of the torque converter, anything under 5 miles an hour. Torque converter doesn't apply. So what were they able to do? Make a smaller torque converter, reduce the weight of the transmission. Okay. Other improvements they made more seamless shifts in between shifts, so you don't get a lot of just real hard shift bumps in the car. It's kind of like a combination between a double clutch transmission and a continuously variable transmission, which is a real smooth transmission, but tends to be a little slippy.
Yeah.
Talking about things like the Nissan Rogue has one of those. They tend to be a little slippy, and you don't want transmission slippage in the mountains.
I don't like the design of the Rogue.
Yeah.
What about the design of the CX-5? It's really unique.
Well, it does. They actually, believe it or not, they actually developed that design. The original design concepts came from the image of a crouching leopard getting ready to leap.
Wow.
Okay, so it looks like it's ready to spring into action.
You know, it does have a look to it.
And they did that. That's kind of where the design came from. You walk around that vehicle and think, man, this thing looks like it wants to move. Okay, so along with that engine technology, you have lighter weight body panels on there that produce a higher rigidity, gives you a nice rigid motion. You have ring structure technology in the frame of the vehicle that goes along with their traditional Triple H construction that channels any crash energy around the passenger compartment, so it gives you that cage-like protection.
Gotcha.
Four-wheel independent suspension. These are things, I'm just gonna mention things, James, that you're gonna find really useful in the type of activities that you do, and any other ancillary questions that you have, you know, throw in there, but a lot of this stuff I'm just gonna apply to the way you use the vehicle, up and down mountains. You got four-wheel independent suspension, so it handles all those bumps.
Yeah.
You know, independently off of the road. Smoother ride, more comfortable, okay? Mountain driving, off-road driving can tend to be a little bit rough. This smooths out that thing. Along with that, you have dynamic stability control. It controls the wheel spin as you're going around sharp turns continuously. And we'll do that out on our test drive course. We've got a section of we're actually changing directions. You'll find out how comfortable it is to change directions. One of the reasons why is because that dynamic stability control is always working to give you maximum wheel spin per angle of attack of the automobile. Okay? Traction control controls the torque, applies the maximum amount of torque to the wheel that needs it most. Very simple. Okay. Now we're looking at a Mazda CX-5 Grand Touring, which is the top of the line. Gives you,
yeah. One thing I had a concern.
Yeah.
You know, on the CRV, everything when I was driving the car was fully loaded also, but I had to take my eyes off the road to look at navigation, take my eyes off the road to turn a knob, you know, to adjust my volume and things like that. How does the CX-5 do that compared to that?
You're going to find when you sit in this vehicle, and we're going to set it very shortly, kind of as when we'll drive around a little bit, I'll kind of get you acclimated to it, then we'll switch drivers, and you'll get to feel all these things that I'm talking about. When you sit in this vehicle, it feels like there's absolutely nothing out of place. You automatically know where everything is, and I mean, there's a lot in there that's accessible to you. Okay.
So really user-friendly.
Very user-friendly. One thing I found about the CRV is their center screen, like where their information system is, it's offset way to the right, more toward the passenger side than the driver's side. So it's almost like you have to look around something to get there. You don't want to be having to crane your neck to see just basic information. It has to be user-friendly. You have to be able to find it in a quick and efficient way without taking your eyes off the road. And some of the ways that this car helps you do that is has a lot of this information right under your thumbs. It has Bluetooth hands-free phone operation. You can sync your phones right into the steering wheel. Boom. Also, will download all your music if you have an iPod or download music from your Bluetooth.
Okay.
From your Bluetooth function on your phone. Okay. Your vehicle you're looking at is the Grand Touring. The Touring and the Grand Touring have blind spot monitoring system. Okay. So if you're in the mountain with a lot of traffic, it picks up cars in your blind spots. Okay, it's a rear-facing radar, tells you where cars are in your blind spot. We've all had that. I'm one of the world's worst about looking in my rearview mirror, looking in my outside mirror, and giving my turn signal and turning it over, and all of a sudden there's somebody right there that I didn't see.
Yeah.
No more with this. It lights up those icons in your blind spot.
Wow.
And if you should happen to make a turn signal while they're still lit, they will flash and beep at you.
That's awesome.
Okay? Also, when you're backing, you're driving, if you're stopped in the mountains and you're having to back up or go forward and
It's
stuff.
just trying to find the spot,
Yeah.
spot to park is
Well,
huge in the mountains.
Put it in
too.
reverse, you got a rear-facing camera, you got a rear view camera, well, that's in your screen, well lit, has a nice area of view in there, so, really good visibility. And it's placed there where you're not really taking your eyes off the road.
I got you. That's always good.
Some of the other things, and this is really great for mountain driving, this Grand Touring, you have a tech package on this, so it's got an adaptive front lighting system on it with HID xenon headlights. They're about 5 times brighter than your traditional halogen headlights, okay? And what the adaptive front lighting system does, when you're turning to the left, they'll rotate up to 20 degrees to the left, so it'll light your way around the corners, okay? No blind spots in your lighting anymore.
That's good.
Same thing to the right, does the same thing left to right. We also have rain-sensing windshield wipers in the Grand Touring with the tech package on it. Starts sprinkling a little bit, it's got sensors in your glass. You have an automatic system on your windshield wipers, you have that set there, as soon as they start getting damp,
They turn on.
they turn
That's
on
good.
automatically. And
That's
you
good.
can adjust the rate at which they, swipe the glass, so it's very, very user-friendly. Other safety features that are pretty, anti-lock brakes all the way around, you got side curtain airbags, you got your front airbags, and these are all the new generation airbags that deploy incrementally, or incrementally. They don't just like the old airbags explode with the original explosive force. Okay?
So it supports me, it doesn't hurt me.
Exactly. Pre-tensioners in the seatbelts. You got active seatbelt, active headrest on it, which prevents whiplash. So all the things that you're going to find really useful in the type of environment that you're driving in.
Mhm.
If you haul a lot, I'm assuming you do a lot of camping and fishing, so you
I
haul
do.
a lot of stuff.
And that worries me in the mountains,
Yeah.
if I'm towing a boat and I gotta
Yeah.
stop, it takes a while for me to get back going and everything like that, so how does that perform versus a CRV? So if I'm towing a boat, I'm in the mountains and I gotta go, I'm stopped on a slope and I hit the gas.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh,
one big
perfect
thing
question.
too.
This thing's got a technology on it called hill launch assist.
What is that?
Okay, so you put it into drive. If you've got some heavy towing or something behind you, or a couple thousand pounds. Okay, as soon as you put it in drive, take your foot off the brake, it tends to roll back a little bit before it hits.
Yes.
There's no rollback on this, but as soon as you put it into drive,
Uh-huh.
it gives you extra power at the outset to help you get going
You're kidding me.
up this hill. Nope, perfect for what you're doing. Plus your rear, just back to your cargo space a little bit, you got a 40-20-40 split in the rear seats, so you can fold down just the center section. You've got skis,
Yes,
fishing
do
poles,
skiing.
fly rods, fishing poles,
Yes.
things like that. Put them in the center, still carry 2 passengers. If you don't have 2 passengers, just one, you can fold down one side of the seat
Mhm.
to get everything going. So for a guy that has, and your rear seat area offers more passenger space, legroom, headroom, than your CRV.
Wow,
And
okay.
this is to say, the CRVs are really well-built vehicles. They have a reputation, a really nice reputation for a long period of time. But this vehicle, this 2013 CX-5, has been exceeding all the expectations of our customer because the technology is there, it's useful, it's there when you need it. Okay, there's no wasted effort in this vehicle.
Well, you really exceeded my expectations on this vehicle, and it really sounds like it fits me. I'd love to take a look at it if I can.
Let's go, get in, we'll
Sounds
get in
great.
and out and drive it.